What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Kinda Funny Gamescast. I'm one of your hosts, Greg Miller, alongside the new face of video games, Blessing Adeoye Jr.
What's up, Greg?
This is the second Gamescast we're recording in the same day. That's
yeah.
what's
People
up.
are getting like a 2-for-1 special with these ones, right?
Well, no, they're getting two. They're getting two. There's two.
Yeah, like a 2-for-1 special.
Well, 2 for 1 would. I think they'd be like included with each other, but they're independent of each other.
It's one day, 2 Gamescasts.
That's true, but it's more confusing because I'm sure somebody's like, wait, is Greg and Blessing again? I'm confused. They didn't pay attention. You know what I mean? They're not clicking the buttons the right way.
Everybody, I assume everybody here knows what's going on.
I don't think you're understanding. Normally on a Thursday they get one Gamescast, but this
Friday they're getting 2 and a PS I Love You XOXO. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. The PlayStation 5 review embargo has lifted right now on youtube.com/kindoffunnygames. Actually, throw that link out. kindoffunny.com/PS5. You can go get all of our PlayStation 5 hands-on coverage. Of course, it's on podcast services too. PS I Love You XOXO is our full review, Blessing and myself, of the PlayStation 5, which, of course, was provided by PlayStation for review purposes. And then you have this Gamescast, which is a review of Astros Playroom, and another Gamescast that is a review of Spider-Man Miles Morales. Tons and tons of content. There's also a video up of my first time using the PlayStation 5 ever, filming me turning it on, going through, nerding out about a bunch of different stuff. And there's probably some other stuff too that I'm forgetting, but you don't need to remember it. kindoffunny.com/PS5. You can get all the coverage we're doing for the PlayStation 5. Let's not waste any more time getting into all this stuff. Let's thank our Patreon producers, Blackjack, Tom Bach, ALWT Gaming. Kevin is the best Christmas elf. Jeffrey P Long, Sancho West Gaming, and James Hastings. Of course, they went to patreon.com/kindoffunnygames, kicked us a few bucks to be Patreon producers. You could do the same on patreon.com/kindoffunnygames, or you could give us even less money and get every episode ad-free. Usually get to watch it live when we're not dealing with embargoes, and of course get it with the exclusive post show that we're not doing this week either, because we're giving you 2 different Gamescasts and a PS I Love You and all this other stuff. There's only so much Blessing that I can talk without exploding. Remember, everybody, if you're watching this on Friday, Extra Life is Saturday, twitch.tv/kindoffunnygames, 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. Pacific time. We are playing video games for the big, beautiful kids as part of the Extra Life fundraiser, raising money for the Children's Miracle Network hospitals. We'll be raising money for UCSF Benioff hospitals. Of course, you could join our team, play games, and raise money on your own for your local hospital. Still be part of the Kind of Funny team, but send the money to your local hospital. Or you can just go to kindoffunny.com/extralife and donate to our cause. No matter what you do, thank you so much, and we hope to see you Saturday. Today, we're brought to you by Upstart and Guideline, but I'll tell you about that later. For now, let's start with Astros Playroom. Blessing.
Greg.
I've known you for 7, 8, 9 years now.
Yes.
And I've never in my life met somebody more hyped for a tech demo than you were for Astros Playroom. Did it live up to your hype and expectations?
Yeah, but I'm going to say yes.
That doesn't sound like a ringing endorsement.
Here's the thing.
Lay the thing on me.
It lived up. Like, the game is fantastic. The game is marvelous. What of the game exists is marvelous. So me and you had a back and forth. Right?
Yeah.
On a
PS I
Love You, right? Where we're predicting the PlayStation 5 launch library, what the Metacritics are going to be, what our expectations for all those games are, and we kind of had a small disconnect as far as Astro's Playroom and what to expect from it. And sure. I kind of expected, I think in my heart of hearts, I knew it was a tech demo, but I expected a little bit more, right? Because it's the follow-up to Astrobot Rescue Mission. Astrobot Rescue Mission is this wonderful, fantastic VR game that blew me away, blew a lot of people away.
Blew me away too. Blew Kevin away, right, Kevin?
Right, Kevin?
Kevin just got a couch delivered, so he might be sawing legs off it or whatever.
Yeah, blew me away. Woo! You know what I mean? What a fun little game that was.
You did, but for real, you like Astrobot Rescue Mission, PlayStation VR.
These are real.
Kevin, don't lie.
What I feel. What I say is what I feel. All right.
All right. Yeah, sure.
Like, you're my Halloween king.
Thank you.
So, what I've landed on as far as the disconnect that me and you had regarding Astro's Playroom, because you're on the side of, this seems very much like a tech demo-ish sort of thing, right? It's packed in.
I thought it was gonna be like the Playroom, right? That we got with PlayStation 4.
Yeah, and I think I was expecting something more along the lines of Astrobot Rescue Mission. At least, that was my hope, right? Fingers crossed. And it's kind of a meeting in the middle where it is what you expect from Astrobot, which is fantastic platforming, really fun Astrobot characters, really, really great level design, all that stuff. But then on the tech demo side, like it is this 2.5 hour at most display of what the DualSense can do.
Yeah.
Which I think is, for what it is fantastic. Part of me is heartbroken that it isn't more. That said, what is here, I absolutely love. Like, I do adore what they did with this thing. I think it is excellent.
Astro's Playroom is fantastic. And I think that's what's, again, interesting about it, with the two sides of the spectrum we brought to it. Of me just expecting it to be, here's what the controller can do. Like, the triggers are tough to pull back. And, can you feel the rumble? Like, coming into it, I platinumed it. This is another one of my PlayStation 5 platinums already. And it was that experience of going through and trying to find every puzzle piece and trying to find every artifact. And as the sun started to get pretty low, and it was like, all right, I'm wrapping this up. My PlayStation 5 clock says I put 4 hours into it. The thing about that is that the PlayStation 5 clock, I believe on that, is accurate. But for games that are like the trophies aren't live yet, like Miles Morales, it doesn't give accurate times. But I believe Astrobot Rescue Mission being 4 is probably a little bit over 4 o'clock, but not, or 4 hours, but not like crazy. I think it's right, basically. When I was wrapping the platinum up, there was that feeling of like, this fucking sucks that this is ending. Like, it got me hyped for two things. Number one, Sackboy. Of like, all right, well, at least I have Sackboy to look forward to and some more platforming or whatever coming out at launch. But number two, the fact that they have to understand what they have, because Astro's Playroom is so endearing and cute and fun.
It's so good.
There is so much love poured into this that I forget who it was. I want to say it was Gene Park from the Washington Post put out that, Astrobot's kind of like is Sony's Mario or whatever. And it's like, yeah, and they need to make more of these games. They need to give them a full-fledged, we're just making a platformer, because there were times in this game of, because if you're not familiar, of course, this is included for free on your PlayStation 5, Astro's Playroom. It is a big old demo of what your controller can do, but it's also a platformer built around your love of PlayStation and your nostalgia for PlayStation. And there were so many times playing this where I'd stop and go, oh my God, that's adorable. Of, the Astrobots dressed like Kratos and Atreus, or the other ones where there's these little scenes hidden all over the place of Astrobots making other PlayStation game references and other things to nostalgia.
The amount of references in this game, oh my God. Like, I was playing earlier today and there was a Resogun reference, and I was like, really, Resogun? That's awesome.
Yeah, and like that is the characters making their references. That is the artifacts you're unlocking. That is interacting with the artifacts that then make a joke on top of the joke that you have already. Like, this game made me miss PSX more than anything in the world. Because PSX is that with all the other PlayStation fans. This game is all of that, and all that PlayStation love boiled down to an amazing platformer.
Yeah, in our first impressions video that we put up on youtube.com, so it's kind of funny games that people can go check out from last week, I made the comment, like, because we could only play the Cooling Springs level, and it was our first time. It was my first time playing, and our first time experiencing it. And so, like, immediately I kind of had that analog of, oh yeah, this kind of reminds me of New Donk City from Mario Odyssey. Sure. Where if you played Mario Odyssey, New Donk City is this whole level that is an homage to the original Donkey Kong game, and like towards the end of that level, you get into like this literal celebration of the original Donkey Kong that is such a cool thing, such a beautiful thing, especially if you have a past with Donkey Kong. For me, Astro's Playroom feels like New Donk City stretched across the course of a whole game, where it is 3 hours of you going through the history of PlayStation. It is you unlocking all these different artifacts that are either PlayStation consoles themselves or peripherals that you had forgot about. Like, I just unlocked the iToy for the PS2, and I got very excited about it. And you are like going around and like seeing these references just in the levels themselves of characters recreating Kratos and Atreus. Or I saw I don't want to
don't spoil too many things.
There's a lot of cool stuff for you when you're in there. And it is that, right? Like, it feels like such a great celebration and homage to everything that's come before in a way that like we want to call it, we call it a tech demo. And I feel like, even though I feel like that is accurate. It is also doing it a disservice because
it undersells it. It
undersells it because like it is probably one of the best tech demos I've played. Like in that case, it does such a great job, I guess, ushering us into a new generation. Via the artifacts and all the stuff that I just mentioned, via the different levels being the different I guess
parts of the PlayStation, right? Yeah. So like, we talked about it in our, again, kindoffunny.com/PS5. You can watch our hands-on impressions of Astro's Playroom, but we showed cooling springs, which of course is the fan and the cooling unit. Then it's GPU jungle, SSD speedway, and then memory meadow are the 4 worlds that then each of them has 4 different segments. I wouldn't even call them levels because I would say that Cooling Springs is the level, but then it's broken into 4 segments that you can jump in and out of and move around and do stuff in. On top of that, then there's a thing called PlayStation Labo, which is where all the artifacts you are unlocking in the game are stored and displayed. And there's down there a wall art. There's amazing wall art.
Oh yeah.
That is puzzle pieces you're collecting in the game, and then as well you are going to the grab machine. So you collect coins in the level, and then down in PlayStation Labo, you walk over to the grab, like the casino, gumball machine, pop in the coins, pull down with the casino arm, and then one pops out. You crush it, and you get a puzzle piece. You get interactive demo station out there for the Astrobots to go play with. You can get, I think, an artifact from there too, maybe 1 or 2.
Yeah, as much as I'm a little bit saddened that this game wasn't more, I can't help but to be of the mind that this was the smartest idea that PlayStation could have had, as far as having a pack-in game, as far as having this game that shows off what the DualSense does, which we should talk about because like they do a good job of that. But then also having it be Astrobot, which is this newer franchise for PlayStation, the newest platforming franchise, right? This newest platforming character for PlayStation. I feel like they've set Astrobot up for such success, and like going forward, I have to imagine that Astrobot is going to be ubiquitous. When we think of Crash with the PlayStation 1, or we think of Spyro with the PlayStation 1, right? I think Astrobot has like taken up is moving forward going to take the reins of this is the character for PlayStation. Like the Mario reference with Nintendo, I think is apt. Like I can't imagine people not falling in love with Astrobot because Astrobot is so lovable, both in this, like both the character, but then like the game itself is just very, very well done, very good.
Yeah, I think you're right, and I think something you said earlier, but we got away from a point I want to go back to is you're talking about this ushering in the PlayStation 5 generation. It does it so well because it is this celebration of all things PlayStation, and like we're talking about, reminding you of all the great memories you've had with PlayStation. And like even when you get, I have Labo completely built out now, and so to be down there and have not only the PS3 there, the giant fat, but to have the slim, right, and then to have over on the PS2 side, like all the different versions of that and the funny dialogue written in them, and then the aim controller hanging from the rafters, and then there's a great one of like I said, you're getting all these like demo stations or exhibits for the Astrobots to work at. There's one where it's this is like, I think it's not a spoiler, but it's like dialing into the level of PlayStation nerddom that is in this game, if you want there to be, where you walk over and there's the Sony Interactive Entertainment logo, and if you punch it, it falls over and reveals Sony Computer Entertainment. Then when the Astrobots flips out and comes, picks the card back up and puts it over it. It's awesome. Like, that's the level of like nerdy ass PlayStation shit they're pouring into this. And really, again, to what you're talking about, making it to, hey, this is welcoming you to the PlayStation 5 in this really familial way of like, this is who you are. This is the gaming DNA of us. And if you want that, it's there. It's so powerful. I'm with you. Like I said, that, you beat the entire thing and there's some secret stuff that'll happen. You beat the entire thing, right? And I am immediately like, fuck, I want so much more of this. Like I already said, this is why I'm so excited now for Sackboy. Of like, I want to keep platforming. And, but in the same breath, it does what it needs to do, which is like you're talking about. I think to platinum it, like I said, it's 4 hours, a little bit more. You're saying grand total maybe to beat it is 2 hours. Like it does the thing of if you get in, you can fuck around with it, and then you get to whatever the big AAA title you want to play on your PlayStation 5 is, right? Yes. Or you do a little bit of it and understand the controller and bounce back, but then you get to come back and for November here, November 12th, this PlayStation 5 releases, and everybody's gonna be so excited and about PlayStation. Like, this is a celebration, and I think this game does such a great job of celebrating PlayStation.
Exactly. During the first impressions that we recorded, I was the one playing, and I was kind of talking about how the DualSense felt as I was going through Cooling Springs. Now that you've gotten a chance to actually play through the whole thing, what are your thoughts on like how it shows off the DualSense? Because for me, Cooling Springs was like pretty immediately I was like, oh fuck, I can like feel like the pitter patters of the walking and like the oh snap, like the way in which they're constraining the triggers so that I have to like pull a certain way for it to work, right? Like, how did that stuff affect how you receive the DualSense?
Oh, I think it shows above and beyond any other game that I've played on PlayStation 5 what this thing can do. And that's not to take away from Miles Morales, which also uses it and has feedback on it and all that jazz. But like, this was the one where, in that first impressions, we started early because you're freaking out at just the opening screens of showing you what it's like. That experience never leaves. You know what I mean? When you're in Memory Meadow, there's one section where it starts pouring rain. And the way it feels like the raindrops are hitting the controller. And it's like, holy shit, that's fucking crazy.
Dude,
and there's another one.
There's one, I can't remember exactly what was going on. It was a similar thing of like, there was stuff environmentally that was going on. It might have been rain that I was feeling in my haptic feedback in my controller, which I was like, okay, cool. I started running around as Astrobot, and I was feeling that at the same time as I was feeling the rain, at the same time as like another thing like exploded towards the side. Yeah, it's truly wild, like how high definition, right? Like how accurate the haptic feedback and vibration feels in the DualSense controller. So much so that like after completing this game, I'm like, yo, this might be my favorite video game controller. Like at this point, like moving forward. Yeah, like before this, I would have probably said the Xbox controller, Xbox One controller, just because I think it's a fantastic controller. But the DualSense technologically, I just think is something else. Like, it is impressive.
It's the same thing and like I'm saying, it's not lost, right? Like, there's all the stuff that's happening there. I think it was also Memory Meadows, but it could have been. No, I think it was Memory Meadows where I shorted a jump, I shorted a jump at one point and fell down into this gray clay mud, and the controller felt like what it looked like in Neverending Story. Like, you know what I mean? The controller felt like what Neverending Story looked like when the horse died, when it got caught in the mud. Because it was that suction and that pull and trying to get out of it, to like trying to jump away from it to try to get back to where I was to get moving. And like, that sounds goofy, I'm sure, but when you play it, it does feel different. It does change it. I think, like even like you the touchpad, which we haven't talked a lot about in any of the stuff we've been able to do so far. Which one was it? Memory Meadow again. Later on, you get different suits basically that Astrobot can go into on every level. So Cooling Springs is that frog jumper we had shown before. GPU, he can get into this giant monkey suit. SSD Speedway, you get into a rocket that you have to navigate around, and then Memory Meadow, you get into basically a ball from like Marble Madness or whatever, right? That you can roll around and do stuff in. And the way you control it is by pushing it on the touchpad. And I was impressed with, the touchpad obviously is on PlayStation 4. I was impressed with this one of how point to point it was, where like I'm trying to get collectibles and I'm able to make like very hairpin turns or slow myself down or get where it was like, wow, I can't believe that feels so good.
Yeah. No, it had me actually excited to see if and when other developers start to use the touchpad more, because it does feel more accurate than the PS4 one does. Yeah, and also playing this game has me excited for. I have to imagine they make an Astrobot 2 or a new Astrobot game.
Yeah, they have
that is a full game, because this as a taste of that, like it pretty much is Astro's Playroom feels like a 10 out of 10 experience. That is like here's just a taste of it, right? Like from the how it looks, like it is a beautiful game. How it plays, how it controls, I'm always a fan of platformers that feel good, like to move. Like Mario 64 is one of my favorite games, and a big part of that is because actually controlling Mario in that game is fun. Like the flips he does, like the side flips, the back flip, the whatchamacallit, ground pound he does. Like all that stuff feels great and it's fun to do by itself. I feel like Astrobot has a bit of a similar thing going on, where like the jump and the lasers that come out of his feet, it's such a good like platform
totally.
mechanic, because most of the time I'm taking out enemies using that. Like I am lasering enemies with my feet lasers more than I am punching them with the square button.
Yeah, if you didn't play Astrobot Rescue Mission and you didn't watch our first impressions, shame on you. You can basically, you jump with X, obviously, but if you hold it, he'll shoot out little lasers that give him time in the air that can blow stuff up. You could also use square to punch or hold square to do a spin attack. I'm the exact same way where I use the jump ability all the time.
But yeah, like even the spin attack is another example of, man, it is fun just to like mess around and see how this character controls, let alone the pickups that are in the game. Like there's like I'll just talk about like the gun that's in the game, that if you hold on your trigger, like it does like a pop, 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 like kind of thing. That then reflects on the trigger. I don't know if we're able to, or part of me wants to turn on the game and actually like show how it looks, but I don't know if I can do that yet.
Show the game or show the triggers?
Like show the controller while it's on.
No, you're fine with that.
Can I do that? All right, yeah. I might do that if I get a second. But like, it is really cool.
Here's what I'll do, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, we have 2 Gamescasts going on. I'm sure this one will be a little bit shorter, but while Blessing sets that up, let me tell you about our sponsor. All right, we're back, everybody. Blessing's there. We're putting this in. If for some reason beforehand you heard stuff, that's because we forgot to edit it out. Don't make a big deal about it.
But yeah, like this is how it looks, right? When I'm like holding the trigger, like the shoot button.
It's fighting back.
It's fighting back.
Like it's fighting.
You know what I mean?
Like it like has like a spray animation to it, and it's fucking cool. Like that type of shit. I'm really down for. Like I can't wait to see this game across like 8 hours. Like I did have the smallest fear that, okay, like Astrobot Rescue Mission was awesome in VR, but once they take it out, is it going to be everything I want it to be? Is it going to hit the same? Or is it going to be like all right, no, now this is just a regular platformer. And no, like it is still really cool, really excellently put together. It still has all the same personality, the same magnificent level design. Like they really, really knocked this thing out of the park.
Yeah, and I think, one of the things I want to speak to, obviously I've already said I have the platinum. Haley, shout out to you. Kind of funny today. Our patreon.com/kindoffunnygames had written in and says, does Astros Playroom have a platinum? It does. And again, it's incredibly well done because of the designs of these levels where, lots of times we'll play a game ahead for review and there will be some collectible in there that's so annoying that there's no way in hell that I'm going to be able to get it without a guide. Like I don't even want to bother with it. You know what I mean? Like I'm not going to look for every one of these ravens from Kratos or whatever, because I know I'm going to miss one. It's going to be a huge pain in the ass. This time around with this one, like the game is so rewarding at every corner that when I was so excited yesterday after having beaten it to be able to have the time to go back and look for every puzzle piece and look around every nook and cranny. And so many times I'd find something and it wouldn't be the puzzle piece, but it would be an awesome Easter egg. It would be a cool thing with the Astrobot. Like again, to your point, we talked about this earlier, but finding all these different PlayStation references, because obviously you are Astrobot with your cape. There's the other bots around. Some of them are chilling, some of them are interacting with the environment, some of them are reenacting PlayStation scenes. Finding those, and then even the few of them that were I was like, what are you doing? Like, wait, what is this a game reference? I get it. Like, there's all of that. Like, the game is such a joy to explore, and I think that speaks so well to the platinum of it, of going through it. And they do an amazing thing too, that again, you want to talk about knowing your audience. There's 2 trophy lists there for the game installed on your system, where number 1, there's the game trophy list, and number 2, there's the add-on thing. And I was like, oh wow, they're teasing that there's going to be more content. It wasn't until I was playing through and I popped one of the add-on trophies. I was like, oh, and I really went in there and exposed the hidden trophy information, where that's where they put like I didn't even talk about this in terms of all this stuff. There's a network speed run, which is the levels you've unlocked. Then like you go through and do these challenges set in those levels as fast as you can, and then put your times up on the leaderboards and see if you're fast or whatever. Like that's the kind of shit that would keep me away from a platinum in terms usually, because I don't want to. I don't feel like sitting there and pounding my head against the wall trying to do it. They put that trophy as an add-on, so it's there, but it doesn't affect your platinum. I'm like, great, good call there. Like that's awesome. It's a game again that top to bottom, I mean, it's just like so designed for the PlayStation fan base, and it's included for free on there. And yeah, 4 hours to platinum or whatever, but not a lot of time. But it does what I want it to do. Go ahead. Sorry.
How fun was platinuming it? Like, did it make the game feel more full /
100%. Yeah, because it was that thing of, playing through my first time through the levels was very much like, let's try to do it in one run. And then it would be that thing of getting to the end and being like, fuck, I'm still short a puzzle piece and an artifact. Like, what didn't I thought I was being so thorough. And then to go back and, have that eureka moment of seeing it off in the distance, or, standing somewhere and just spinning the camera around, looking at every little thing, trying to figure out what they want me to do. I love that kind of shit. I think they do such a great job with it here.
Yeah. I also like this game as like a secondary, like, hey, I just want to look at models of PlayStation
100%.
Because like once you unlock artifacts, they go into your PlayStation Labo, and you can go in and just like stare at shit and like rotate it, like with the DualSense, you rotate it and look around it, and that like that stuff is detailed in a way that is really impressive. I like ray tracing is still not a new idea to me, but something I'm still trying to keep an eye out for, because I'm not I don't entirely see when it's being implemented in every game, because I'm blind, I guess. Like I just don't pay attention to that stuff. But like even the way the lighting reflects on some of these models, I'm like, oh my God, that is incredible. Like the way in which they're able to model that stuff out and have it look that amazing.
Yeah. I can't say enough nice things about that. And again, like it's hard, I know, I don't want to ruin stuff for everybody, but like, again, the love of going down there and, punching the PlayStation logo on the PS2 and having it spin around, like, to the vertical stance, or, you punch these different things and they'll turn on the handhelds. And then it's that moment of like, oh, what are they going to put on the screen? Like they've done a bunch of really, really cool stuff here. And I think, again, for something that's packed in and is a tech demo, they did not have to go this hard by any stretch of the imagination. And I'm so glad they did. Yeah.
No, I definitely agree. And like at the end of the day, I think this is the greatest idea for the simple reason it's gonna expose so many people to Astrobot.
Yeah. And that's the sad thing. For the
franchise.
All three of us here on this podcast right now, including Kev, right? Like we love PlayStation VR and we loved Astrobot Rescue Mission, and that was one of those games that I think a lot of people heard, oh man, that's great, but I don't have PlayStation VR. I'm never gonna do it. Cool, it's a good platformer. I don't really get it. I don't know. Then now here it is for free, a taste of it. It looks great, plays great. There's a question here from Yosef Barker, who wrote into patreon.com/kindoffunnygames and says, hey, Greg and Blessing, have you been able to test out 3D audio on Astro's Playroom? And if so, is it worth it? I've been using the PlayStation headset, and I think it sounds good. But for Astro in particular, I would say play without the headphones. Play it off your sound bar, your TV or whatever, because there's so many sounds coming out of the controller.
Yeah.
Where in the same way we're talking about the haptics and the feedback and the triggers, like the speaker on the controller is used really well here too, in terms of making you hearing their, wheeze and whoos and whatnots from the Astro people. Like I love it.
Yeah. And I think in some portions, like you get to parts of the game where, and this is similar to Rescue Mission, where you have to blow on the controller, because that'll then make a fan go, and I don't think that stuff works if you're wearing headphones. I think that stuff is just automatic.
Yeah, my mic was muted on my controller, and so those would just go automatically.
Yeah,
but you
gotta get the full experience. You gotta blow on the controller.
Yeah. So yeah. Astro's Playroom, of course, is free on your PlayStation 5. It's short, so this is a shorter review of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought it was great. I'm with you, Blessing. I obviously wanted more. I think it's an interesting way of where, if you go watch the Miles Morales review, one of the things I talk about is it left me wanting more, but I felt satiated. This one left me wanting more, and I really want more. Like, I don't feel like I got the full Astrobot experience, which is to be expected in a glorified tech demo, a free pack-in, all these other things. And again, better than me being sick of it and not even wanting to platinum it, sure. But this was so comforting to go through and get all this PlayStation nostalgia and an amazing platformer that, yes, I want more.
Yeah, no, I'm very much in a similar place. I want more, though. I get why this was probably necessary for what this is. Like I'm not mad at it by any means. Like I get it, and I can't wait for whatever they put out next, because like between Rescue Mission and this, like they've proven to me that these guys, I think I said this on PSW, that these guys can make a game. Like they know how to make a game. They're really good at making a game. And so I can't wait for the next game they put out.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, what do you think of what you've seen of Astro's Playroom? Let us know in the comments below. If you're listening on a podcast server, just yell out your window. Open up your window right now and scream what you want to hear about Astros, and somehow it'll get to us and we'll know. Remember, this is just one piece of Kinda Funny's PlayStation 5 launch coverage. You can go to kindafunny.com/PS5. Get our PS I Love You XOXO review of the PlayStation 5. Get our review of Spider-Man Miles Morales. Get the video of me turning on my PlayStation 5 for the first time, and so much more. Remember, the coverage continues into next week as we build up to the big old launch day where everybody will be out there playing Astros Playroom and playing PlayStation 5. Wherever you're getting this show, thank you so much for listening or watching. Please like, subscribe, share. Remember, PlayStation sent us these PS5s for review. Thank you for that. Don't come after us, FTC. We've communicated the disclosure agreement, right, Blessing?
We did it.
Ladies and gentlemen, until next time, it's been our pleasure to serve you.